Hello my friends and welcome to another episode of Inside Out Electronics, and today we have another example of fine audio equipment from days long gone. Okay, this is Aiwa stereo cassette player GS110 auto reverse. This kinda cool looking black dude, I call it Zorro, is not working. Yeah, it's probably a very similar problem like another player I used to fix on this on my channel. It's a Sony Walkman. So this is Aiwa Walkman stereo cassette player. This one is kind of more advanced because it has this sort of equalizer, treble, bass, super bass and things like that. It has also auto reverse. It's in a bit worse shape than previous player. Doesn't have a FM, support two types, metal, chrome or normal. Doesn't have Dolby B, which is sucks. But volume, phones and external power, not much going on. That's the battery compartment. Let me try to power this little dude up and see what we have. Alright. Holy shit, it's like a lawnmower. Did you hear that? Let's try again. Crazy. Wow. Okay, well, that's the only what we can do here is to disassemble and take a look what is there making such a horrible noise. Okay, we have one screw over here, and I suspect I don't want to be right, but I suspect another one is right under this label, which is kind of sucks. Yes. It kind of sucks because I don't want to ruin that label. But I may have no choice. Okay, well, let me try to open it up. I think we have a progress. So after using some sort of whole bunch of miscellaneous tools, especially this one turned out to be the most useful, and there is no screw under here. I was wrong. It's just a whole bunch of latches and we are in. Holy smokes. Oh my god. Okay. We have very similar situation with the crop over here. Fortunately, it's not completely cropped out, but it's looking bad. The motor over here is wrapped up a little bit of this goop as well. Let me take this goop out. Well, oh my god, it's all disintegrating. It's actually it had multiple turns around the motor shaft. Now it's so much better. So what you can see here, it's just regular DC motor. There's a lot of crap around. I can't wrap my mind. Is it 2 belts or... Well, good I actually taped this, because now I would be able to understand how it used to be, because I did not actually memorize that. Alright, let's dig a bit further, but obviously, like, clearly our problem is here with the motor, and I need to understand... Oh, I have to also clean this up. Let me actually put the batteries in and see what's gonna happen. Oops, stupid of me. Weird noise of the motor. I don't like it. I think motor is actually... I don't think it's supposed to be sounding like this. But I have a suspicion that potentially it sounds like that just because it doesn't have a load. So let's try to clean this up and load it. Okay, I have my soft brush, which is gonna remove all those fluffy things away from as much as I could from here. Essentially, motor works all the time with the same speed, like all the time. So I think it just switches the... Oh wow, I need like vacuum here or something. There's a lot of crud in here. It's a lot of crowd actually came through those holes, but seems like it's all good and shaft is clean and there's not much else going on here. So I'm not sure if I need to use the Q-tips in order to... I may just use like this in order to pick up little tiniest amount of crud and dust. Thanks. It's good. Very interesting plastic used over here. It looks like it's like metallized. It has this sheen. I'm not sure, maybe it's a nylon type of material with some sort of fibers, I don't know. Right, so now we have to find appropriate belt, and it has to be pretty thin one. From bazillion of belts I got here, this is what I pulled. It's essentially a string. So I'm not even sure if I can find anything long and thing like that. But let me try. This is long enough, but I don't think it's thin enough. Oh wow. I might be out of luck here. Because it has to wrap. I think it goes like... Yeah, I think it goes like this. Like that. Right here. Something to this extent. Yeah, I'll try that. This is... Wow. Well, here's a pretty long one, but I think it's too long. Here's a long one as well. And just give it a shot. It's totally feels like it's too thick. Yeah, it may not just work. Yeah, it's too long. It's way too long. And I would say even way too thick. No, sucks. It's tiny ones. Looks like big ones or all pretty thick. It's too short. Well, looks like my wonderful set of things here is getting pretty useless. Okay, I will do it off camera, taking too much time. Well, looks like I found the right length of the belt. Here's the wall, and it essentially works, and also I properly replicated the path. The problem is, I think this guy is too thick. It rubs in two places. I think it rubs a little bit here, not always, but it clearly rubs over here, and probably even rubs over here. So yeah, this is definitely not gonna work, but at least it rotates properly. Very slowly, but properly. Let's search more. Okay, I was lucky. So in my first set of a whole bunch of belts, like yeah, let me show you this bunch of belts, I was not able to find appropriate length. So this is appropriate length, okay, but this is the appropriate thickness. So in this case nothing rubs, but in my second pile of belts, like this one, luckily I ordered two. Looks like this shit is completely random. I was able to find proper belt, and now we have a... Yeah, I'm not sure if this is proper speed, but at least there is nothing rubbing, there is nothing whining. Looks like it is actually operational. Hooray! So if it's just like this, very easy to replace a belt, I'll be happy person. But before I conclude, I need to actually listen and to understand if this is a successful repair. I'm gonna get my very favorite cassette, Hari Mata Hari, Strach Mida Tivolim, and put it in here. Unfortunately, I will fix it later. Unfortunately, it sort of pops out. Let me listen. Well, I suspected it plays very slow, and indeed it plays very slow. And also it plays with some crazy interference. Interesting. Actually, I'm not sure what's happening here, but I really clearly hear interferences of the motor in the headset. So maybe there is more problems than I thought. Let me dig a bit further, because this is not normal. I'm actually looking at the moment right now if there is any like oxidation of anything like that. I think I have to pull this PCB out of here to understand what's happening. I'm not sure if it's soldered, if it's removable. Oh yeah, of course it's not removable like that. Looks like someone was already looking into this thing, because this screw is actually missing, and there was no screw here. So this screw is missing, it's not me. And there is a bits of shard of some sort. Wow. Not sure where this came from. Interesting. So I would have to unscrew it here. Oh, this is a little ball. But this still doesn't come out. Unless there is another one. Is this another screw? Yes. No. Just a solder joint. Never mind. Very blobby solder joint. Wow, that's crazy. Let me see more, because it could be hiding. Okay, let's tiny screw. What else we can pull? Okay, we have to dislodge this guy as well. Yes guys, and I was digging further and further and further until I figure out or realize that the problem is not with wiring and things like that, but with that. So yeah, capacitors. When I looked a little bit closer to those area over here, notice it's sort of a little bit corroded. So I decided to double check those little capacitors. They are everywhere. Actually, there are several of them, not everywhere, but like plenty of them. And I think they are not good. Yeah. So their ESR, I think, is pretty low. Let me show you. Gonna move this guy. Okay, so we have here ESR meter. Let me take this little tiny, what's the value of this guy? It's hard to tell. 220 microfarad, 4 volt. Okay, 224. Oh my god, it's so tiny, it's really hard to work with. I'm gonna try to connect one electrode first and second. Okay. And as you see, it cannot even measure it. Alright? Okay, number 1. Okay, let's take this little tiny number 2. Where is negative? Okay, just like that. They like weightless. It's really hard to work with those little teeny tiny capacitors. And what do we see here? And this one cannot be measured as well. Crazy. And just for giggles, okay, let's just double check if this thing is working. Okay, let's zero it. Just try this capacitor again. Doesn't read. So there is something wrong with those capacitors. So I was a little bit proactive and I got some capacitors. Now let me find appropriate. It's not the right one. Okay. So here is new one. So this one is, I'm not sure what kind of brand is this dude, but this one is Panasonic capacitor, supposed to be decent cap. Now let's try to measure its ESR. So yeah, like I feel the difference, right? So this capacitor is clearly operational. This one is actually, this is Nichicon. Yeah, take a look at this. Little teeny tiny Nichicon capacitors, and it's Gonski. Okay, so I do have replacement for all of the capacitors in this Aiwa Walkman, and I just gonna replace them all as we are gonna shut this down and replace all capacitors. Okay, so looks like the major problem are capacitors. I'm not sure what other problems I'm gonna have, but I will start from capacitors. These capacitors are not expensive at all, and actually replacing all of the capacitors probably is a good idea. Yeah, so let's do it. So I decided to actually desolder as many capacitors as possible. Because it's gonna be easier rather than switching context every time. So I'm gonna just unsolder Alright, this one is gone. Another tiny one over here. Also double checking if those capacitors are loose. Okay, another one over here. Okay, let's clean up our braid. Okay, this guy is moving, moving. Two more. We have two more capacitors over there. Just beside this little motor driver, I assume. Okay. Wow. It looks like it's so oxidized, it doesn't want to take even a slight amount of solder on top. Wow. Oh wow, that turned out to be a bit stubborn one, so I decided to add a little bit of flux to kind of clean it up. Hoping flux will flush some impurities here. There's definitely something going on, particularly here. It's some kind of black gunk which doesn't let me properly desolder those capacitors. Not sure if it's oxidation or just corrosion of a sort. This guy, it's really hard to see. Unfortunately, I don't have macro lens. Clearly oxidized over here. So yes, curious how it looks on the other side. Yet clearly there is some gunk. Like, it's really hard to show you, but okay, that's positive that we actually took it off. And this guy is 0.47 microfarad 50 volt. Jesus, like, I'm really surprised these sort of capacitors are used. 50 volt, 0.47 microfarad. Okay, I'm just out of curiosity. Let's see what we have here. Where is the negative? Yeah, I have nothing. Right, I'm gonna remove its neighbor as well, and I would have to clean up this board. Not just solder new capacitors. I would have to clean it up. So another one is 2.2 microfarad 50 volt. Another little dude. Well, I'm sure results is predictable, would be predictable, but just gonna give it a try anyways. Oh wow, that turned out to be a bit stubborn one, so I decided to add a little bit of flux to kind of clean it up. Hoping flux will flush some impurities here. There's definitely something going on, particularly here. It's some kind of black gunk which doesn't let me properly desolder those capacitors. Not sure if it's oxidation or just corrosion of a sort. This guy, it's really hard to see. Unfortunately, I don't have macro lens. Clearly oxidized over here. So yes, curious how it looks on the other side. Yet clearly there is some gunk. Like, it's really hard to show you, but okay, that's positive that we actually took it off. And this guy is 0.47 microfarad 50 volt. Jesus, like, I'm really surprised these sort of capacitors are used. 50 volt, 0.47 microfarad. Okay, I'm just out of curiosity. Let's see what we have here. Where is the negative? Yeah, I have nothing. Right, I'm gonna remove its neighbor as well, and I would have to clean up this board. Not just solder new capacitors. I'd have to clean it up. So another one is 2.2 microfarad 50 volt. Another little dude. Well, I'm sure results is predictable, would be predictable, but just gonna give it a try anyways. So now I would have to clean this up very nicely. Okay, I will be back. Alright, I've done my best in order to clean up. Now I would like to thin it a little bit. Not to cover the holes. This is crazy, I've never seen this before. Alright, so, and here we are, our brand new capacitors, which are in whatever tape, sort of like soldering, like pulling those little capacitors out of tapes. Yeah, because I'm always afraid to break it. Just in order to make sure I didn't broke it, I'm gonna... Where is negative? Well, this is 4.47 microfarad 50 volt, and it reads, its ESR is 8.5 ohm. I think that's fine for such a low capacity electrolytic capacitor. Okay. So negative is usually shorter, so we're gonna go and plop it in. So its neighbor was 2.2 microfarad. Here is another little teeny tiny dude, but it's in bulk, so I'm gonna have to yank it out of the tape. So again, like it's clearly indicated negative is shorter. So again, I plop it in here, just like that. Okay, so let's assemble it. Here's our problematic lead. Still doesn't want to take solder properly. Alright, okay, a little bit more here. A little bit too much. This is good. Now we deal with this little neighbor over here. Uh-oh. Well, at least they are clearly taking solder, those pods. And I'm gonna inspect before I power this stuff up if there is no shorts, just to make sure I'm not gonna mess it up more than it was messed up. Okay, cool. It's probably the most complicated part. Okay, I'm just gonna do this, I guess it's gonna be easier. Okay, the other capacitors, let's just pull them out. They not cooperating as easy. And this is our 47 4V. We already placed one like that. 47 4V, brand new. Okay, let's pull this guy out. What's going on here? And there is a gang of 47 4V capacitors sitting right here. Okay, I'm gonna quickly solder them. It's a little bit too much over here, just to remove some. And we have 3 more. This one is 1 microfarad 50V. I'm gonna even test it. And I have beautiful Nichicon, which is in tape. You know what, those in tape are just gonna do so much less work. Let me double check that pad over here. It doesn't look too good. Yeah, this part is no good. Need to clean it up. Okay, I have cleaned up the parts over here, and we're gonna put our 1 microfarad capacitor. And solder it. Perfect. Next capacitor is this dude, which is pretty much falling apart or falling out. This is 204 volt, 220 microfarad to volt, 4 volt, sorry. Here is our Panasonic replacement. Negative goes in here. Nice and beautiful. I already cleaned up with this alcohol. A little bit too much. Don't need that much solder. Alright, that's better. Okay, this one and this one is good. Just cut those leads off. Okay, and there is one last capacitor right there on the back. Can I just pull it? It's kind of spread its legs and doesn't want to come out. Alright, what the hell is this? For 100 microfarad 4 volt. Right, let's take a look how looks like. Pods looking good here. Let me kind of dub it a little bit to see. So here's our a 100 microfarad 4 volt. I'm gonna cut it off as well. I'm gonna bother. Okay. Let's see where the negative goes. Negative goes in here. Just like this. A little bit. A little bit. And here we are. Actually, I like this solder more, but I have a little bit of it, so I kinda... This brand is better than this brand, but I have just that, so kinda saving it for mission critical operation. Okay, so we successfully replaced all, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 capacitors. Well, just wondering what the hell gonna happen now, eh? So let's just need to test it, okay? Let's put it together and test it. Ta-da! After poking around, took me some time to actually assemble it properly back again, and just let's... Okay, I need to shut down this guy. Finally, it's quieter. Put some batteries and see if it's actually does something. Okay, it rotates all directions. That's positive. It's a really positive sign. Let's remove all the garbage and extra stuff before this very historic moment. Okay. And let's bring our not 50 ohm headset. This time we're gonna try this AKG's earbuds. And for our test cassette we're gonna use Tutti Frutti band Stvari Lagani LP wersja Aida Opaida. Yeah, let's be interesting. This is cassette from Yugoslavia, circa 1988. Okay, let me listen to it first. I think we have a success. So this is left channel, this is right channel, and it's clearly working properly. The only one thing which I feel, it's actually played too fast. Probably what happened before. I'm gonna shut it. It's actually pretty loud. Before it was playing slow because the motor driver capacitor was shit, or actually pretty much absent. Now when capacitor is working, I tweak the speed using this little potentiometer over here, okay, and now speed is too fast, so I have to tweak it back. But after doing that, I think this little Walkman is a yeah, it sounds like a cartoonish right now, obviously. La 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 la. That's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I had to replace whole bunch of capacitors in order to actually have it working. But now I have way more capacitors, and I can like repair some other Walkmans, which is probably coming out. As you saw in my previous video, I have some more Walkmans available. Alright guys, so I assembled it together. So after cleaning up everything as much as I could and cleaning up a bunch of dust, cleaning up the pinch rollers and head, I have this Aiwa stereo cassette player GS110 live again. Well, obviously after changing all this whole bunch of capacitors as well. I also tweaked the speed, and speed is actually pretty good. Now let's try to play something again. Hopefully it's not gonna sound like cartoon anymore. So let's remove this junk. I don't even know what year this thing was manufactured, because I couldn't find any much of documentation on this particular one. Not user manual, no like a service manual. So yeah, if you guys know anything about Aiwa players and you can find any info, it can help me. Oh wow, that's freaking loud. Okay, well, I almost make myself deaf. Yeah, here we are. So it's operational, doesn't sound like a cartoon, and it worked. By the way, when I was tweaking it up, I decided to use a bench power supply, and I set it to 3 volts, and this thing was consuming 160-180 milliamp when playing. So yeah, there's something very interesting tidbits of information. It doesn't really say any kind of consumption over here or anything like that, but yeah, 160 milliamp current. So well, that's probably give better understanding how much time a set of batteries would last, or a set of AA rechargeables. Alright, I think this is successful restoration of Aiwa stereo cassette player GS110. By the way, the little equalizer works actually pretty good as well, and there is also a little tape type selector which works as well. And I think I deem this restoration quite successful. I like this little Walkman because it's actually nice and compact. It also offers auto reverse capability, which is like pretty nice as well. It's weird, it switches. Wait, let me check something. Maybe there is something broken and I don't know. Alright, looks like it doesn't switches when the cassette is out. Weird, but works when cassette is in. Well, here we are. This is gonna be it for now. I hope guys you sort of enjoy. I hope guys you enjoyed this sort of video when I restore some old audio equipment. I think it's gonna be useful for people to see what's inside those old school thingies, and instead of throwing them away, you know, to be in the landfill or be like scraped and melted into something, they can still use them and maybe enjoy some of the cassettes they have lying around, which will prevent them to going to landfill as well. It's not like I'm against the, you know, modern iPhones and phones and smartphones and like miniature players. This is just pretty cool piece of engineering, which is a little bit more like out there. It looks a little bit more sophisticated than to me than a piece of silicon which you cannot see inside, right? Modern devices essentially it's just a chunk of silicon with a whole bunch of semiconductors inside and a battery and a few buttons and maybe a screen. That's pretty much it. This is a little bit more than that. It's silicon plus a little bit of mechanical work involved. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this sort of video. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of video, and see you next time.